welcome back to the third installment of my weekly talk show, my weekly yap, Hound Table. I'm Sam, but I go by Preyhound on the internet and on the stage, and I'm a songwriter, I'm a bassist, I'm a flute player, I'm a comic artist, I'm a friend. Yeah. And I'm just here to talk about the past week. I'm here to talk about lyrics and books and feelings and realizations and all that stupid shit. How has this past week been? Halloween, first Halloween in Los Angeles. It's been freaking awesome. It's been freaking great. And I will talk about it right now. It was amazing. I dressed up as a spider web. And I just layered a bunch of, I had a tutu and I layered a skirt that I made into a top and a bunch of white accoutrement, to look all wispy and stuff. And I safety pinned, where is it? Oh, I lost him. I safety pinned this spider to my outfit so I could be like the web, and I wore this little beret and some black and white striped fingerless gloves so that I could kind of be giving Miss Spider from James and the Giant Peach just a little. I met up with all my friends. We hit a bunch of clubs I'd never been to before, and one of them we were let in without a cover, even though there was a cover, and so I was feeling very cool. And the band was playing Thriller. And I just love when I go to a club where people are actually fucking dancing, okay? Because sometimes you go to a club and the music's great and the vibe is great, but people are kind of standing around looking at each other. It's like, are we here to shake ass or not? I don't know. Also, I'm trying not to say as much, and because when I was editing my last video, I realized that I had to cut out so many ums, and it really pissed me off. And the last thing I want is to be able to be edited into a clip where it's Hound Table, but only when Sam says and the video's 20 minutes long. So, anyway, that was Halloween. It was fantastic. Moving on. The first thing I do at the beginning of every Hound Table episode is I do a lyric review. And this week was quite busy, and so I didn't pick out a song by a well-known artist to review. And I thought, maybe it would be fun to do a lyric conversation about one of my songs. Okay, and so that's why I've chosen to talk about the lyrics in the first song off my debut album, $$, in a Silver Pail, called Hound. Now, this album came out in October of 2024, and it's a concept album that can be played as one whole song, and I made it pretty much entirely sitting on the floor of my old bedroom with the instruments I had, and I actually recorded everything with one SM58 microphone. And my friend Cameron Woody, Lady Beetle, produced it, and she did a fantastic job. She just worked a little magic into every little nook and cranny. It was fantastic and really fun to make. And it reflects on how fleeting childhood can be, and how you realize that it's not only childhood. You look back at when you were a kid and you go, wow, that felt like a million years ago, but it felt like it all went by so fast. And it just keeps happening. Every time you reach a new landmark or milestone in your life, you look back and realize how quick it passed you by. Everything that led up to this point, how quick it all went, even if it feels like it's slogging along in the moment. And it's just about appreciating the time that you have while you have it. It's all about time. Time is a very big thing for a lot of people. It's something that scares most everybody. And it's something that scares me, but it's also something that really interests me, because I forgot who said this, but because every day is all that there is. Every day is all that there is. So anyway, this is the song Hound. It's the first track, and it's about how everybody is just a collection of the people that have raised them. And so the first verse, it goes like this. My father taught me how to play. Now his guitar just takes up space. My mother taught me how to sew. Now she throws away jeans when they rip holes. My brother taught me how to sing. I haven't heard his voice in weeks. My grandma taught me how to bake. Now there's seldom cake for her to decorate. Um, and, you know, I really like having lines that rhyme one after the other, just A, B, B. Cause it's fun. It can sometimes make me feel like a bard singing my medieval song. I don't know why. It just always scratches that itch. And so anyway, let's talk about the content of the lyrics. I really wanted to talk about how there are so many things that people want to do in their lives, and so many things that when someone's at their best, you see them do it, and it inspires you to start incorporating it into your own life. Like my dad teaching me how to play the guitar. But sometimes life gets in the way. You lose track of things. You let certain habits that you used to enjoy or hobbies you used to enjoy fall to the wayside. I know I've done that. Who hasn't? And it's a certain type of grief looking back at things that you wanted to do or things that you used to do, that when you remember them, you sit back and go, dang, why did I never do that? Or why don't I do that anymore? Or what happened to that? Because sometimes you just don't always know. Life happens. And the same way that friendships can peter out, so can passions, to be quite honest. But you can always return. You know, you can always return back to something that used to fill you up. And then later on in the song, I say, I taught myself hunger like a hound. I look ahead and never around. I taught myself to kick up dirt, to run for the hills, to let 'em all get hurt. And in that stanza, I was trying to illustrate the difference between, there are so many qualities that a person has where it's clear where they got them from, who gave them, who taught them certain things. Like my dad teaching me guitar and my mom teaching me how to sew. Like those things, those skills, or even those traits that seem like they were passed down to you, versus certain things that about yourself where you don't know where it came from. You don't know why you're this way. You just kind of are. And did you get those traits indirectly from, seeing the behavior of people who you grew up around, or did those traits just, were you always going to be that way? That's the question that I was asking. Yeah. And so if you like those lyrics, go listen to it. I'm very proud of that work. And so the next thing that I do is I read a snippet from my diary. Diary journal number 1, July 2024 through, I don't know, it's not finished yet. This is from September 9th. I had been living in Los Angeles, September 9th of this year. I'd only been living in Los Angeles for literally 9 days. And I don't even think I had my bed yet. I don't remember. I'm surrounded by plants. I'm smoking next to a koi pond. Sloan was right. They got bigger koi fish on purpose so you think you're higher than you are. Lol, JK. I've seen koi fish this big before. Anyway, what the fuck am I even talking about? I ordered chocolate chip cookie and chamomile tea with honey. You never know what'll happen when you go on a walk down Santa Monica Boulevard. Anyway, that's my diary entry, a silly one. The next thing is I talk about the book that I'm reading, and I really didn't read enough this week. But it was Halloween, dude. Sometimes it just gets away from you. I'm still reading Dude Messiah. I'm almost done, and I feel like something terrible is going to happen to Chani. What was that? What the hell? I feel like something terrible is going to happen to Chani. I feel like I know something terrible is going to happen to her. And I don't want it to. I think that's probably also why I hadn't been reading, because I don't want anything to happen to her, because I like her. Anyway, so instead of a book I'm currently reading, I'm going to talk about a book that I have read. And if anyone seeing this knows me, you're going to laugh really hard. And even if you don't know me, you're going to also laugh really hard. This is the book I'm talking about today. Simply because this series of books, Warrior Cats, single-handedly got me into reading all the time as a kid. You can ask my mom, dude. I was eating these books up. Anyway, so this book is the very first book in the Warrior Cat series by Aaron Hunter, who, by the way, is like 3 or 4 people. Aaron Hunter is a lot of people that all write under the same name, and that's why there's like 70 books. You know, there's so many books in the series because they're constantly doing those. Even so much so to where they sometimes get confused about which cats have died, and they bring back names of deceased cats because maybe they got confused. Anyway, but that's besides the point because it's perfect and amazing and I love it so much. Anyway, so the first series follows this house cat named Rusty, who feels the pull in his heart for something greater than the life of a pet. And so he runs away from home and he ends up joining this clan, Thunder Clan. Comes to discover that the place he lives is inhabited by a bunch of wild cats. And they have 4 clans that have their specific territory. Sorry, it's my munchichi. Have their specific territory in this area. There's Thunder Clan, which he joins and eventually is given the name Firepaw. He's an apprentice now, training to be a warrior of the clan. There's River Clan, who lives by the river. Wind Clan, who lives kind of like in the plateaus, like the plains. And Shadow Clan, who lives in the marshy area. And it is this story of... It's a very political world these cats live in. Very diplomatic, but they fight. They have deep emotional bonds to each other. They feel feelings of betrayal. You know, they fall in love. They take care of each other. And it just follows this cat's journey and how he is placed in the position where he has to step up. He has to step up and become who he was meant to be. It's great, dude. It is a great story from start to finish, and then all the other series are also good, but just the very first series, there's nothing like it. And I don't care that it's like a kid's... It's just a good book, you know? Do people not read, what's a really good kids book? Like The Wizard of Oz is for kids, but do people not read it just because, you know, it's a book for younger people? No, because it's a good book is a good book. And I can say for a fact, this is a good book. And so read it, you know? Why are you denying yourself the experience? Anyway, now I'm going to talk about the projects I'm doing. Which, oh my gosh, I said last week that I was playing a show, and that happened this past weekend, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I feel very fortunate whenever I end up in a room filled with passionate, friendly, and kind people who really care about the experience of coming together to enjoy music. You know, like, not to be too genuine on Maine, whatever, but it's fantastic, and it's all I want to surround myself with because it's beautiful. In my first installment, I talked about one of the projects I'm a part of as a bass player, because I get a lot of gig work, and I love to play in people's bands as a bassist and like a background singer. My project, Jessie Detour, which is like this 90s girl rock awesomeness. We have this show in December, and it's going to be our first show since moving here together. Oh God, I keep saying I'm going to have to cut out so many ums. I'm going to piss myself off again. Our show's going to be on December 3rd at El Cid, which I'm very excited about. Both us, Jessie Detour, and this band Sunrose are opening for Devin Thompson, which is going to be super, super fun. So I know it's a while out because it's November 3rd, so it's in a month from now, but it's a month to buy tickets, you know? So, yeah, there's a ticket link. I'm going to put that in the description down below, so go look at it. My next project, coupons. Okay? I'm trying to get really good at coupons because I want to be that grocery diva that collects the coupons and saves them up and then just has a field day, you know, in the grocery store. And it will happen. I'll keep you updated because I need that sense of satisfaction because I go to the grocery store and I'm prepared to feel like I want to throw up by the end of it because when I insert my credit card. There's, I don't know, I feel a piece of my soul chipping away. Because it's so fucking expensive. Food is, it's out of control. And so if I can become a coupon champion, maybe that'll help. I'm still job searching, but sometimes an angel lands on your shoulder. An angel bird lands on your shoulder and says, I work here and I think we're hiring. And then you have an actual lead. Because a lot of job hunting is just that, hunting. You know? Sniping, even sometimes it feels like trying to. And so it's very, very amazing. And it feels nice when you hear about a job that's actually a lead through a friend or something and isn't just like you having to track things down and unearth shit from the depths. So we'll hope that works out. Another thing that I've been doing is pen paling. I have a lot of friends who are now all over the place because after college you never really know where people are going to go. And I don't want to lose contact with so many people that I care about. And so I've taken to writing letters. I need to send my next wave of letters. I need to do that this week. I will do that this week. Because, you know, when they write back and I get to open my mail and see a letter from somebody I love, it's so much more meaningful than trying to keep up over text. Because I think that a conversation over text, in my opinion, never really ends. And that's what makes it hard, I think, to keep up with people in that way. Is because you always feel like you're keeping each other on the hook in a way, or at least I do. And maybe that's just something I need to get over. But I just enjoy a phone call and a letter so much more because it means more. I just think it means more. Another project I've been challenging myself to only listen to the radio or to like physical media that I own. And I know that's like, but it's been fun. It's been really cool. I've discovered some really good stations that I like. I tuned into, was it 89.9 KCRW Los Angeles, and it was a live session by Olivia O of Lowertown, and it was really good. It's fantastic, and that's why I think it's good to give up being able to choose what you want to listen to all the time, because when you can just stream whatever you want whenever you want it, the discovery of new stuff, at least I get stuck in a rut where I only listen to the same few songs and I'm not discovering things new. Because everything's just on demand whenever I want it. It's the fatigue. Or it's like I don't want to listen to new stuff because I'm just fatigued by the overwhelming amount of choices that I have, I guess. I don't know. Whereas when I listen to the radio, I tune into a station that I think is cool. I'm bound to hear a song I haven't heard before. I just get to enjoy the new music as it comes to me. Yeah, anyway. And I've started to collect cassettes because with movies and with music and all that shit, you realize at a certain point that you don't own anything. You own the license to something. You rent a movie off fucking Amazon. You don't have that. You don't own that movie. You own a license to view that movie for as long as they see fit and they can take it away. You know, or to cancel your subscription, you don't have access to those movies anymore because they're not yours. And I feel that way about music too. It's been nice to try to disconnect myself from just everything fucking being on demand. And my very last project, this isn't even a project, this is just actually just a yap. This is a story that I wanted to tell, that I told my lovely roommate last night. And I hadn't thought about it in a while, but it was one of those memories where once you start talking about it, it's clear as day, like it happened yesterday. And it was this story, well, it was an anecdote, because I saw two people fall in love on a train one time. And it was when I was in my first year of college and I was going to New York for Thanksgiving. And I was on this train and it was going to be a long ride, like 4 or 5 hours, whatever. I was at the window, but I could kind of like see diagonally into these two seats that were facing the other direction. They were a bit down the ways and they were facing me, so I could see who was sitting in them, but they couldn't like really see me. This sounds creepy, but it's important. And so I'm hanging out, I'm reading my book, I'm doing whatever, and I've been riding the train for a while. After like a stop or something, this girl gets on and she's just chilling, and then a stop later a guy gets on and he has the seat next to her. And so they're sitting down, she has her headphones on, she's doing her crochet, he's on his phone. Very normal, like, but I start to notice, because I'm bored, I didn't bring enough to do, I don't want to look at my phone because it makes me sick. So I'm just kind of like looking around at what other people are doing, I guess, trying to be a little discreet, but people watching as much as you can in a train. And I start to notice that he's kind of looking at her like he maybe thinks she's pretty, and she is. She's beautiful, and she's kind of like, when he looks away, she's kind of looking over at him, like they're trying to be kind of discreet about the fact that they're very aware of each other in this moment. And so eventually one of them breaks the ice and they start talking, and instantly they're just chatting away, having this great conversation. And I tune out for a while, I come back in, and eventually I look over and she's teaching this dude how to crochet. And I'm talking like she's like positioning his hands for him. Like, it's very cute. It's very, very cute. And they're laughing and they're giggling. They're probably telling each other about their lives. I can't really hear them, but I can hear when they like laugh and stuff, and it's quite often. And then I kind of am like, okay, I'm not going to stare for a while. I don't want to be weird. I don't want them to like, because I don't think that they could have seen me staring. They were so in their own world. But even so, I was like, I want to give them their privacy. I look back after a while. Oh my God, they're leaning in to kiss each other. They've been like talking so close, and they lean in. And have you seen like The Princess Bride? At the very end of The Princess Bride, Princess Buttercup and Wesley share this kiss, and it's the narration is like the person, the grandfather reading the book, The Princess Bride, to the kid, says something about it being, if all the best, most romantic kisses that have ever been kissed were all put on a list, this one would put them all to shame. Like, it was that serious. Like, they kissed like they had been in love for years. And I looked away because I didn't want to stare at like two people kissing, but I was like taken by this moment of these two people. Just, you meet somebody on a train and it's like you've known them your whole life. And sometimes you're just drawn to people and you don't know why. But here's the thing, you guys, is after all that went down, another hour goes by, and then we get to a stop. And I don't remember where we were, but we weren't in New York City yet. And she gets up and she has to go. And she gives him one kiss and she hurries off the train. And I watch him as she goes. And this guy is devastated. Not devastated because he's mostly like on a cloud. He's like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. But I see this sadness overtake him. Because they exchanged numbers, but I think he knows that he's probably never going to see her again. You know? And the worst thing is, or the best thing, I guess, maybe even the most romantic thing, is with all her crochet, when she got up to leave, she left a string on her seat. And he picked up the string, and he fiddled with it, and he looked at it, and played with it, and was wrapping it around his fingers and stuff for the entire rest of the train ride. And we both got off at Penn Station. And I saw him put the string in his pocket. And I can't believe that I saw that. I can't believe I saw that. And I don't know who these people were, and so it's like, I feel like I saw something between two people that maybe I wasn't supposed to see. But I couldn't help. I mean, I was looking straight forward on this train, and no matter where I looked, I could see them because they were facing me, dude. Well, so I don't know. I felt really lucky to be able to witness that moment, but I was like, oh my God, is anybody else seeing these two people fall in love right now? Apparently not. The woman next to me was asleep the entire time, and she missed the love story of a century. Anyway, I hope those two people individually are well. You know. Okay, the last thing is the tarot reading for today. And I'm going to do what I did last week because I've been really liking the method that my friend showed to me about shuffling and just letting things fall out where they may. And letting the associations I make to my own life come a little more naturally and less structured than specific like card arrangements. But I think I'll do a more specific one next week. I'm kind of missing that. Missing my categories. Ugh. Whatever. Specifically, I want to focus on the topic of like social life. Because that's a big thing that I'm really enjoying right now, you know, is being social. Or, you know, putting myself out there even if it's scary. And so let's explore that. Ooh. The Empress. Now, I look at the Empress. She seems very sure of herself. Power radiating off of her. Everything's growing around her. She seems kind of in a relaxed position, welcoming things in. These abundant trees around her. Let's look at the meaning. Fruitfulness, action, initiative. Ooh, difficulty, doubt, or ignorance, though. So, the ventures are fruitful even if they are difficult. And I think that is so true about socializing, is even if it's a little awkward, even if it's difficult, even if you're kind of like really having to force yourself to show up somewhere, you know, it's always going to bear fruit. Odds are you're going to meet some nice people. And if you don't, then at least you did it, you know. Let's pull another one. I want to see how fast I can go. I'm also trying to get really good at shuffling. Ready? But these cards are so big. Okay, so the bridge was good. The shuffle was not good. Oh, shit. Queen of Wands. So, I love this card because of this guy. This guy. I kind of always interpret this little guy as he's looking directly at us. So, there's a certain quality about this card, even though she seems very regal and sure of herself and just on her throne, you know. There's a certain quality of like an edge, like a wisdom, like a I see you. And maybe that this little cat represents to me. And that could be and just off the top of my head I can relate that to that feeling when you're socializing and you're watching yourself socialize, you know, or even if you're feeling good, you know, and strong, like how she appears right now. It's very strong. There's still that little it's watching you, that little you that's watching you. And that sucks because the worst thing that happens when you're having a good conversation with somebody is if you start worrying so much about what the next thing you're going to say is that you don't actually take in what the other person's saying. And then the conversation isn't even good anymore because you're just so caught up in the fact that you can see yourself socializing in your mind. You get so caught up in that, in how you might be being viewed, that you're absolutely unable to enjoy the conversation. And only when you can kind of just find some way to get outside of yourself. And how? I don't know. It's different every day. You always got to keep figuring out new ways to free yourself from yourself. And it's not easy, but it's worth trying anyway. And the only way you're going to get better at it is if you just keep doing it. That's the truth. Oh yeah, baby. That was a good one. We're just going to pull the top card because I want to. Queen of Pentacles. We got a lot of queens today. So it's look at all these baddies, dude. Look at all these baddies. You know? It's kind of making me feel good about this reading. Because I just love that I'm talking about social life. And all the cards I'm pulling look like they're all meeting to discuss important matters, you know? They're all meeting to discuss their different points of view, like they're different, like this would be a very engaging conversation to be a part of. The Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the freaking Empress, dude. I'd want to be there. She looks a bit more contemplative in this, you know? But still, see, all these cards, still all around her is all this growth and abundance. Even if what she's focusing on, you know, she's just like, even if she's focusing on one thing really hard, there's still so much life around her. I don't know. I could even read this as a warning to maybe not focus so much on, maybe not get tunnel vision when you socialize. That could either be, you know, not overanalyzing, you know, every single interaction. Maybe it could be not putting all your eggs in one basket. Let's pull one more. Oh, God. Oh, my God. And then we got this one. Because you could say that there might be romantic undertones, but, like, I don't think there is. I think this is really just, like, an equal exchange of ideas. This looks like the beginning of a friendship to me. Like, I just love it. So I think the moral of this reading is just keep going. This screams, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing your thing. Just keep going out there, you know, even if you feel awkward. Yeah. Great reading. And so my last thing, please, oh my gosh, somebody email me and ask me a question about, ask like an advice column question. It could be anything. And it doesn't even have to be a question. Just because I really want to do a segment called Ask Preyhound, where I answer questions kind of like an advice column in a newspaper. And so you can do that by emailing me a question at preyhound, the number 4, ever at gmail.com. Preyhound 4 ever at gmail.com. And if you don't ask, I might ask you. I might track you down. No, I'm not. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the 3rd episode. It's fun as always, and I'll be back next week to talk about other random shit. So,